Hey everybody, it's Brad at Dayport Brothers LLC out in Versailles, Ohio. Going to do another walk around video followed by an operational video on this 2018 Caterpillar 246D skid steer that came in and we're putting up for sale. Like always, I'll walk around, I'll talk about the features and functions, I'll get up close to everything, I'll show you everything that I see, tell you everything that I know, then of course we'll fire it up, run it through its paces, show you what play it has in the front pins, let you hear the engine, show you the hydraulics are nice and strong, show you that it turns strong to both directions. As always, if you are in the market for a used skid steer, a used piece of construction equipment, or a used piece of ag equipment, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Your likes and subscriptions help other people who are looking for equipment find our videos and find our machines, and we truly, truly do appreciate that. All right, like I said, this one's a 2018 246D. Cab, heat, air, high flow XPS, 2-speed, pilot controls, ride control, advanced display with backup camera, self-leveling bucket, air ride seat. It's got a weight kit. These lift 2,150 pounds. This one has 3,416 hours. As you'll see here in a little bit when we fire it up and run it through the operational video, there's some play up here in these front pins. We've had worse, but there's definitely some play there. As I get up close to it, you'll see some of the paint chipping off in quite a few spots, especially around the edges, kind of how they are, especially these newer ones. They start chipping off around the edge and then it just kind of flakes away. You'll see it has that quite a bit here on this loader arm, a little bit of a dent right there, and then just some paint chipping off and flaking off, especially around the loader arms and any of the edges. Some paint chips up across the top here. The yellow paint that is there is still fairly bright, but it is flaking off. Taking a look at this front tire, I'm gonna say we're at 10-15% tread life. I think I'm being very fair there. No weather checking to speak of. Sidewall looks good. Taking a look at this front rim, as you can see there, again, flaking off around the edges, got some paint chips here and there. Taking a look at this rear tire, it's actually better than that front one. I'm gonna say this rear tire is probably 40 to 50% tread life. I think I'm being very fair there. As you can see, it's definitely got better than the front. And the rim on this side's quite a bit better than that front rim. I'd say that rim's been replaced at some point. Looking at the side of the frame here on this side, quite a bit of that yellow paint still there, but it is starting to flake off and stuff down here on the bottom and around these edges. As you can see down there, it's got some chips here and there and some scratches. Nothing out of the ordinary. It is flaking down there on the bottom a little bit. And then looking at this back corner here, as you can see, decals flaking off a little bit. Some paint there flaked off. Does have the weight kit, like I said. No big dents or dings back here. Some scuffs and scratches there in the paint. Both of those lights look good. And then just some paint down here chipping off on that bottom corner, especially right there where you chain it down. Coming back here, looking at that door. The door is fairly straight, no big dents or dings in that door. It does have some scuffs and some scratches here and there. That black mesh is actually pretty straight. Even that bottom section, just, you know, a few scratches and some paint peeling in some spots. Both those lights look good. Again, just some paint flaking around the edges. There is a bit of a ding here, a little dent and scratch there. Then looking at this rear corner, as you can see, the paint is still fairly bright, but it is peeling off. That decal's peeled a little more on this side. Some paint chipping off there. Weight kit looks good. Just a lot of that paint around the edges is where it's starting to flake off. Looking at the rear tire on this side, I'm gonna say we're at 5-10% tread life there. It's getting a little wore down. Definitely more wore than the other two that we've looked at. And then looking at the rim on this side, it's probably the worst of the rims. As you can see there, it's got quite a bit of paint chipping off and peeling off. We've not had to add air to any of them. They're all seemingly holding air. This one up here is probably a little closer to the front on the other side. It's probably 10% or so, maybe just a touch more than that, but it's definitely getting a little wore down too. And then this rim, pretty similar to that other front rim. As you can see there, paint flaking off in several spots. Then in here on the side, just around all the edges. But as you can see there, that yellow is still somewhat reflective, fairly bright, but it's definitely flaking off and chipping off, and got some rust underneath there where the paint's wore off. Looking at the loader arm on this side, it looks very similar to the other side. As you can tell here, got some scratches here and there, paint flaking off. I don't see any cracks or welds or plating anywhere on either of the loader arms or the back of the skid steer plate. Take a look at this bucket. Looking at that bucket, as you can see here, it looks pretty straight. It's got a good cutting edge. I don't see any big bows or dents or dings in that bucket. Go take a look in the engine compartment here. Okay, as you can see in here, nice and dry. A little bit of dust and dirt, but no oil or diesel or anything up top here, no antifreeze. Same thing over here. It does have a block heater there. Again, nice and dry over here. I don't see any oil or diesel running down anything. Taking a look at the back of the door, back door. Fins on this cooler, as you can see there, are kind of bent over quite a bit. Nothing seems to be leaking there, but some of those fins are, most of those fins are bent up a little bit. Take a look at the cab and interior. All the glass seems to be good. I don't see any cracks or spider webbing in any of the glass. Up here on this front, as you can see there, just a bunch of paint chipped off and flaked off. Kind of like around the rest of the machine, starts flaking around the edges. Both steps are in good shape there. Take a look inside the cab here. Floorboard's good. Taking a look at the seat here. Lower cushion's pretty good. Couple little small jags right there and two small ones in the back. I don't know if you guys can see it, but two little small holes there. Backrest seems to be pretty good though. That gray plastic's still pretty bright in here. Everything looks good on this joystick over here. All the buttons are good. That protective boot's good. Coming over to this side, everything looks pretty good on this one. Same thing. That boot's good down there. Like I said, it does have advanced display, 3,416 hours. Backup camera works. All the controls up here, everything seems good. HVAC controls. Everything looks good up here where both of these cylinders come up. I don't see anything that looks like it's been cracked or welded or anything there. All right, like I said, this one's a 2018 246D, 3,416 hours. Lots of photos on our website. That's listed down below in the description. If you have any questions, comment down below. We'll fire it up and get right into an operational video.